Alright, so today I'm going to be cooking some breakfast comprising of scrambled eggs, bacon, biscuits, and gravy. So step 1. Locate and read the directions on the biscuit tin. And then preheat the oven to the desired temperature. Be sure to check that there are no more flammable substances still left in your oven and take out a dilapidated looking baking sheet. Step 1.5. Peel off the biscuit tin wrapper with your freshly cut and completely non-existent nails. And then completely disregard the directions to use a spoon and apply pressure directly onto the fold with your bare hands to assert dominance in the kitchen. Step 1.55. Then once you've opened the biscuits without reading the directions for the gravy and place the tin aside, praying that it won't roll away. Step 1.6. Read the gravy packet directions. Consider using a tea kettle to boil the water, and then immediately decide against that. Keep studying the directions while you formulate a cooking strategy. Then assemble the proper measuring and cooking tools. Pay no attention to the dirty dishes and the metal snake protruding out of the sink. Fill the pot with the desired amount of water and set it on the stove to boil. Step 1.7. Make as much noise as possible when selecting a pan for the bacon, and preheat it while you gather the slices of swine. Step 1.8. Remember that you completely forgot the biscuits. And then in an act of mistrust of the cleanliness of the baking sheet, decide to place parchment paper onto the said baking sheet. Upon placing the biscuits onto the sheet, come to realize that you've underestimated the biscuit's thickness. And then begrudgingly have to search for another pan. Step 1.9. Continue with Operation Swine Extraction. And then immediately get grossed out by the slimy texture of the bacon and regret not using utensils or gloves. Attempt to grab 2 slices, but then settle for 3. Place directly onto the searing hot pan that you now realize is a tad bit too small. Then immediately wash your hands of the uncooked meat. Now search your drawers for a pair of tongs, only to then realize that they were tucked away in a pile of clean dishes. Now tend to your bacon, and then decrease the heat in fear of burning yourself or having the oil burn your skin. Now that the water is boiled, frantically look around for a bowl of some sort to make the gravy in. Read the packet's directions for a third time because you only have a slight inkling of what you're actually doing. Now whisk together the gravy powder and the cold water until the lumps disappear. Step 2.16. As the oven indicates that it has been preheated, start to panic as the amount of task has reached the threshold. Place the biscuits in the oven and set a timer. Then flip your bacon, making sure to cower and keep away any exposed limbs as far away from the pan as possible as to avoid the bubbling oil. Step 2.43. Stir the gravy while checking the instructions for a fourth time because you're paranoid in regards to the outcome of this dish. Bring the water back to a boil and whisk the gravy vigorously. Always remember to have a clean workspace. And try not to fear the cracks of scalding oil only inches away from your face. Step 2.68. Now that the water is boiling again, add the gravy and whisk furiously until it becomes thick and remove from heat. Always taste your food for proper seasoning. And also question why Americans like this gravy. Step 3.1. Now that the bacon is fully cooked, prepare a plate with a paper towel as to dry the excess fat off of the bacon. Because that makes such a difference for an already salty and fatty meat. Step 3.4. Attempt to dispose of the bacon grease by pouring it into the gravy packet. And then soon realize that the attempt was futile, and also slightly burned one of your fingers, and decide to just dump it in the trash. Step 3.75. Place the pan on the heat and assemble the remaining ingredients.
Okay.
For fluffy or scrambled eggs, be sure to add milk. If you don't have salt at hand, any form of sodium will work. I suggest looking into an online gaming community's fan base, such as CSGO, League of Legends, or even Overwatch. Now, using the bacon grease still left on the pan, cook your eggs so as to infuse the pork taste. Don't leave any eggshells in unless you want an extra source of calcium. Then simply scramble, adding milk halfway through. Do not add salt until the end of cooking unless you want grey eggs and ham, Sam I am. Pour copious amounts of salt into your hand, only to add a pinch to the eggs, and scramble further, leaving the eggs to cook a little longer on a low heat. Be sure to inspect your gravy pan and bowl, as well as toss the remaining directions in the trash because you're an independent cook who don't need no recipe. Step 3.976. Taste the eggs for desired seasoning and texture and add to your plate. But first, of course, turn off the stove and struggle to grab the hot cast iron handle.
Oh boy.
Step 4. Begin cleaning the kitchen while you wait for the biscuits to bake. Now that the kitchen is relatively cleaned, time to check on the biscuits. See that they are indeed not deliciously golden brown, and thus need more time, and consult the once discarded directions for how much longer that should take. Add to the timer and patiently wait. Step 4.33. Remember that you live in a desert and it is currently 110 degrees Fahrenheit outside, and decide to hydrate yourself. Drink as obnoxiously and loudly as possible so as to scare off any viewers. Anyways, now that the biscuits are done, time to take them out of the oven. Step 5. Now for the last step, presentation and serving. Take the meal that you've spent the last 20 minutes cooking and give it to your father because it's actually 2 o'clock in the afternoon and you had breakfast hours ago.
You opened up a counterintelligence investigation on 31 July. Was that because of the source popping up?
Okay, that's it, bye.